Time come.
I am here in the streets of Port Antonio in the Portland Eastern Constituency, where throngs of Port Antonio in the Portland Eastern Constituency, where throngs of PNP supporters are out and about in celebration of the perceived victory of the PNP's political candidate for the constituency, Isat Buchannan. But we talked with him to see how he felt about this perceived victory, and this is what he had to say.
Way before Vibes Cartel, there were persons who I would have freed from an unjust justice system. Our constitution is what won this election. There are people around in Portland Eastern that are disenfranchised. And when you talk about land grab, when you talk about corruption, with the people of the people of Portland. I live here. I know what it is to suffer under the hand of a regime that don't care about basic human dignity, and that is what this is about. This is not about entertainment and fluff. Our lives in Jamaica is serious, and the change that is necessary is what is happening now.
After visiting several polling stations in the Portland Eastern constituency, we have noticed that there is a low voter turnout this year compared to previous election cycles. Former Member of Parliament Anne-Marie Vaz's supporters seemingly expected a clean sweep prior to the election day results.
It is obvious that Action Ann is doing wonderful. It is obvious that Action Ann is doing wonderful work in Portland. Why choose somebody else, and she's here already doing the work. So the roads are fixed. I live in Stone Hill. Stone Hill don't have water for years. And I'm telling you that we have water in our pipes now.
However, the pendulum of public favor swung towards Buchanan as he reigned victorious. He illustrated how he intends to alleviate the perceived ongoing unemployment issue during his tenure.
Employment in Jamaica is wiping a window for 2 hours a day and spinning around statistics. It is about the quality of employment and the improvement of the quality of life. What we are going to do is ensure that no matter where you are in life as a youth, as long as you're alive, education is the great divider. It is the great escape from poverty, and we're trying to connect people in the informal economy to the formal economy, and we're going to do so through education. We're going to do so through technology and use of the internet.
Buchanan is confident in his administration's ability to serve the people properly of Portland Eastern. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Thank you, Kevin. And persons from different parishes have been expressing disbelief about the outcome in Portland Eastern, registering support for Action Ann. However, long-standing councillor in the Port Antonio division, Dexter Rowland, deems the PNP's Isat Buchannan deserving of a victory. We go back to Kevin Black for more.
I have come to East Portland and have delivered on every commitment that I've made to the people. They have not seen the kind of development in this parish in the last 6 years.
In the aftermath of the general elections, people island-wide are expressing their disappointment at the dethroning of the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP Anne-Marie Vaz in Portland Eastern. Several memes, video commentaries and personal views have been circulating online, resulting in a stir among her supporters. People's National Party PNP representative Isat Buchannan shocked many as he tallied 8,316 votes, while the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP Anne-Marie Vaz secured 8,181 of the votes, while Tracy and Gillespie Harris managed to secure 29 votes for the Jamaica Progressive Party. CVM News received some observations from a councillor for the Port Antonio division since 1986, Dexter Rowland. He outlined his belief that the PNP's track record on developments like housing and schooling turned the tide of the contest towards them.
Only one housing scheme the JLP has done, and that is Drapers, about 15 homes. We have done 2 in Manchin here, 1 in Long Bay, 2 in Fairhill, 1 in Drapers, 1 in Anchovy, 1 in Fellowship, and the biggest housing development in Portland, Narragansett. We have done all of those. We built many basic schools in Portland, in East Portland, Love Lane, Bournebrook, Manchneel, in the valley, all over, and we renovated almost every school.
Meanwhile, constituents shared opposing views on who they believe can be of greatest service to the constituency and the issues they currently face.
Why this man jigging and jumping and talking about him breaking ground for this and breaking grounds for that? Why him get so many Barbara Green now, couple days before election? Why he never think about this 2 years ago or even 18 months ago?
We see this lady come and take the seat. Not in 4 years. And end up better and what the People's National Party do for this year.
Mrs. Vaz has since released a statement on social media thanking her supporters for their trust in her over the past 6 years. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Please join us for more CVM News at 7 in just a moment. Seriously follow Jamaica's politics are familiar with the jitters, the highs and the low moments once the voting ends and the ballots are being tallied. At the Jamaica Labour Party headquarters, for example, supporters like Carrie Ann say there is a strategy to be counted in person.
Going out early to vote, I wanted to be here from early also so I could watch the results on the big screen TV down here at the headquarters.
Defeat was not on their radar.
Well, no, that's not, no, that will never happen because the narratives are the Labour Party has 49 seats, where the PNP is going to get 18 seats to win the general election.
There are talks that you could lose some of your seats.
Yes, there's a possibility, but at the end of the day, we're not going to be losers.
So there was a low voter turnout. Do you think enough people came out?
Well, that's a challenge, yeah, because some persons' votes are not where they're living, yes, so they have to travel.
As the shadows lengthened, the music and the vibes heightened.
After an election, people sort of drift in, they want to see what's happening, they're waiting to hear news that comes in from different seats. People want to talk to people about their experience during the day. So the mood is good.
Even in a politically charged atmosphere, Kamina Johnson-Smith says there are things about Jamaica's democracy we have to celebrate.
Generally, as a democracy, as a country that believes in one man, one vote, and that believes that your politics should not so define and divide that you can't, have more of a carnival-like atmosphere and you can't speak to each other, and that our principals can campaign in the streets and, you don't have to have fiberglass in front of you when you speak. These are things that we have to note that they're positives, but still more to be done. I was saying it to some young people the other day that we don't recognize how the beauty of what we have here.
Above the horns and the ringing of bells, the crowd never lost track of the critical information, which at times made the atmosphere deathly silent.
Well, on the inside, some persons are celebrating. The big bashment is on the outside. Now, can I tell you about that moment when we heard that the Prime Minister was behind? What came to your thoughts? Well, okay, I just say I'm very elated. This is our early birthday gift and the country deserves it.
The party machine went out and did a job. Yeah, we gained a number of very good seats, and we'll analyze them, see how those MPs were. Some were considered to be pretty way down the ladder of success, came up and did well. We'll lost a couple, but they're close calls, and we'll allow them to, we'll monitor the recount and allow them to, examine what happened there. When you get anything under 100 votes, you have to examine that. So there'll be some, we'll monitor, the laws will go and look at those, see if there's room for changes. And in the medium term, we'll ensure that the organization review the seats. Right?
It was very, very quiet here when they heard that the Prime Minister was seemingly in danger.
No, he was not really in danger at the time. Not strategic, but he did well. We don't see.
All the way from Connecticut to come cast my vote. Shower 1 p.m. See there? A medium shower.
But even as sure as some supporters were, they refused to make an outright prediction.
I don't want to jump ahead of how I'm feeling inside with this bubbly feeling, but what I know is the most honorable Dr. Andrew Michael Holness will be back instated as the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Now, in the lead up to the general election, the PNP's Donovan Mitchell signaled his time in local government was coming to an end as he was fully focused on his parliamentary bid in Manchester Central. However, his tone shifted on the day. Well, the seat has so far been declared for the incumbent, the JLP's Rhoda Moy Crawford, for a second term as Member of Parliament. Here's more from Zor Grant.
At the last municipal corporation meeting in Mandeville, Mayor Donovan Mitchell announced it would be his final mayoral sitting as he prepared to contest the Manchester Central seat for the People's National Party. He expressed confidence that victory was certain.
This would ultimately be my final meeting of council because I know I'm going to win.
On another occasion, he went further, declaring that by the night of September 3, Manchester Central would be back in the hands of the PNP.
After the 3rd of September, or on the night of the 3rd of September, Central Manchester will have a PNP MP delivering to them quality representation that they're used to.
However, on election day, Mitchell struck a different tone. He told CVM News that should he lose, he would simply return to his mayoral duties, an apparent retreat from the confidence he projected earlier.
If I don't win, I go back to being the mayor of Mandeville.
Meanwhile, the JLP's Rhoda Moy Crawford, an incumbent, stood firmly in her belief she'd retain the seat, despite not securing any of the 4 divisions in her constituency in the local government elections. She spoke to CVM News early election day.
I don't feel pressured at all because I have done the work, and every single where that I go, the support and the love is just overwhelmingly positive. Very confident, extremely confident.
Zor Grant reporting for CVM News.
An item of breaking news just in. Incumbent Donovan Williams of the JLP has regained the Kingston Central seat on the final count. Williams posted the news on his social media, and the Director of Elections, Glaspole Brown, also confirmed the development. The final count sees Williams tallying 4,832 votes to Steve McGregor's 4,753, a difference of 79 votes. It now means the JLP has 35 seats to the PNP's 28. McGregor's team say they are contemplating escalating the matter to a magisterial recount. With reports the election season was largely peaceful, there's an appeal for Jamaicans to steer clear of politically motivated attacks. The plea comes after a man was fatally shot in Hanover during an election-related dispute. Amoy Harriet has the details.
What should have been a night of jubilation for party faithfuls in Lucy Hanover Wednesday night was cut short after political tension turned deadly. Police say just before midnight, a People's National Party supporter from Cascade was gunned down following a heated argument with 2 other men over the election results. Reports are that the victim was standing in the township when words escalated to gunfire. The 2 suspects reportedly escaped on a motorcycle. The victim was rushed to hospital but couldn't be saved. The man, Loxley Vassell, more popularly known as Johnny Man, is said to be a loyal supporter of newly elected Member of Parliament Andrea Perkis and a close family friend.
I remember when I got COVID, I stayed home alone for 14 days. And every morning at about 5:30, the same time every morning, he would be outside my window, checking on me and ensuring that I'm alive and well.
She admits Johnny Man often had a tendency to use provoking words.
He had a habit. He had a habit, a drug habit that, we all knew about. The community of Cascade knows about it. But he was low. Whenever he took the drugs, he would get disrespectful, and we've always warned him against that and also warned him against going into the town of Lucy.
Nah, leave Lucy. Everybody can keep Lucy. All right, if Johnny Man spend 2 days out of 7 days, okay, spend Lucy. every day gone Lucia. Yesterday morning him come and him gone back like he just heard again. Him not here. Him not listen.
Now, the incident comes at a time when stakeholders had been praising this election as one of the most peaceful in recent years. Ms. Perkis is appealing to Jamaicans to put an end to politically motivated violence, even as the election season has come to an end.
I have a lot of friends that are on the other side.